Hey guys, today we're talking about Olight's M2T flashlight. This is a new kind of take on the M2R, which is also a brand new flashlight from Olight. And we're not going to go through a lot of the usual stuff today because what we're really going to focus on here is the differences between this and the M2R. Because in reality, the kind of people who are going to agonize over which one to buy, this is going to be really important to them. As far as specs, we're just going to glaze through it. It's the same as the M2R. Essentially, so take a look at the webpage. You'll see all the lumens and runtimes and all that stuff. Olight I've tested a million Olight flashlights and they have never once not delivered on lumens and runtimes and all that. So let's get into this. So the M2T is a single 18650 flashlight. It can also take two CR123s, and one of the differences is with this flashlight, it is not rechargeable like the M2R. It does ship with a small converter and two lithium primary Olight batteries. These are not rechargeable. I put in a, let me get one here, sorry guys. One of these Samsung 30Q button tops for testing purposes, just to see, I like to run unprotected batteries and flashlights when I'm testing them, just to make sure there's not any issues with like the voltage protection and all that jazz. So what you have is a proud rubber booted tail switch, S-shaped pocket clip, which Olight's pocket clips I think are pretty much the best in the business. Additional side switch with your little LED in there, orange peel reflector, and all that. So I mean, it's essentially, this is what you come to expect from Olight. Nothing majorly groundbreaking here, just some differences. So, of course, the M2R is kind of the younger cousin to the M2T is the cousin to the M2R, which you can see here, very, very similar in size, shape, and everything. So what are the major differences? One, the M2T has that rubber boot cap, is not rechargeable. The M2R has the magnetic tail cap and is rechargeable. Why is that a big deal? Well, one of the big complaints I've seen when it comes to doing research on products is that the M2R, a lot of people complain because if you work in a wet environment, you have the potential for shorting that out. Now, this light does have some water resistance built into it, but for example, if you are, someone who may have to dive into a pond unexpectedly, like a police officer, this may not be the best flashlight choice for you. Furthermore, I also read reports of guys who work in like machine shops and stuff, and that the magnet would attract metal dust and short the light out. So that is a bit of a shortcoming for some people. Now for me, I don't mind because I'm not diving into any ponds and I don't work with metal on a daily basis, so this magnetic recharging is just fine for me and I have no issues with it. But it is nice that Olight thought enough to come up with a different design for those guys who are concerned about that and don't really need the recharging function. Only other major change is with the user interface. Now the M2R has a two-stage switch which you push part way, it gives you turbo, push the entire way, and it gives you strobe. Very simple, very easy. Nothing to remember or forget. In an emergency situation, you're going to push hard and it's going to go to strobe, and that's okay. Now the M2T is a little different. It also has a two-stage switch, and what you have is, of course, your light press is a momentary. Your full press locks it on, which is kind of cool because you don't have that option with the M2R. And then if you push and hold, it goes to momentary strobe. So your strobe won't lock on, which is good because you really don't need that trouble. So you have that additional option. You have, momentary turbo and strobe with this. You have momentary turbo, locked on turbo, and momentary strobe with the M2T. So a little difference in the UI there. Now as far as power, well, I'll tell you what guys, let's take a look at this. So we're going to start, because the user interface is identical guys, with Moonlight. You can see they are functionally identical. Once again, functionally identical. Of course, the M2R I have is in a different tint, so there is a little bit difference in power due to tint, but it's really not noticeable up until you get into turbo. Next mode, once again, I mean, these are functionally identical. Next mode. Hey, look at that. What a surprise. Identical. Here's your high mode. Once again, you know, obviously your neutral white is not going to have as many lumens, but that was my choice in getting the neutral. And your turbo. Oh, look at that. You can't even tell them apart. Yep. So, getting one of these for power purposes, you know, there's no point, absolutely no point whatsoever, because like I said, the modes match up and are essentially identical for the entire thing. You're looking at same LED, same orange peel reflector, same kind of crenulated bezel there, same design, a little different with the kind of bulge for the heating for that. You can see the M2T, I bet you it's solid. That's probably why, as opposed to having those cooling fins built into it. But the knurling's the same, the clip is the same. So not a huge, major amount of differences there. And real quick, just for a size comparison, we'll bring out the other Olight. Here is the S30. You can see the S30 is considerably smaller. The S2A, even smaller. And the H2R falls right in the middle there. So there is a quick size comparison. I'm going to line those up. Yeah. So there are your sizes. Get these bad boys out of the way. Let's get this M2R out of the way, and we will finish up here. All right. So as I kind of mentioned here, do you really need rechargeable? You know, if you don't need a USB rechargeable flashlight, this is a good option. I think, you know, in the end, you know, guys are going to agonize between the M2R and the M2T, and it basically, I think it boils down to is that tail cap. Do you need that magnetic tail cap or not? Do you want that extra capability in the locked-on turbo? You know, other than that, these are very, very similar lights. So they're very, you know, I mean, my God, I mean, the amount of power that they've gotten out of these lights, you know, what flashlights have done over the past couple of years is just astounding. I mean, it really is. So we'll take a quick look inside for QC purposes. Not like I haven't been in here. But you can see here, we have a plunger style with some, what is that? Looks like some torque bits holding the guts inside. So that should be a little better. A lot of O-ring, or the snap rings tend to come loose, so it hopefully will help keep that torque down for a long, long time. You can see you have that double wall for your, because the battery comes in positive towards the tail cap, because the Olight needs to be different. So you have that double wall to make that happen. Inside there's a spring. You might not be able to see it, but there is a spring in there. So this will accept a good variety of battery lengths. Now these 30 Q button tops are pretty short in the world of batteries, so this will it'll use quite a good variety of batteries. You know, plus your CR123s. Spot for a lanyard. Pocket clip is removable, of course. All kinds of good stuff out of this, guys. I mean, look at this. I mean, just such a nice light. Alright, so we'll talk a little bit about the value of the light, and then we'll call it a day. So this M2T, guys, you know, this is like an $80, $90 light. I'm sure come Christmas time and the holidays, you'll probably see this on sale for $79 or $69 or whatever. But $100 for a light with this many lumens, this many features is really quite good. I know for a lot of people, $80 or $90 flashlight is complete and total sticker shock, and I'm with you. I was there too. You know, I still love my budget lights. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love my budget lights, but in the end, sometimes having a really high lumen, high quality light is really essential. You know, especially if you are the kind of person who, you know, believes in self-reliance and all that. Having a good tool is an extension of yourself. So, you know, I think it is important in the value-wise when you look at other lights with this emitter, this power, this capability, they're in a similar or higher price range. So Olight really is able to give us a really good value for the money. I do wish they included some more accessories with it, you know, some spare O-rings and stuff like that, because this did come in a package pretty much unlabeled, unmarked, or not, it's marked, but it came with essentially nothing really as far as accessories. It was just a light in the box, but other than that, no complaints. You know, Olight's always hits the spot with these lights, and this one is no different, guys. Hope you enjoyed.